Freshman and sophomore years, for me, were a time of great stress, curiosity, and exploration. I had many things in my life bringing me stress and ensuing sadness. With all of this stress, I knew that there was change that was needed, but I didn't know what. I began to seek refuge and happiness in all of the wrong places. That is, until I found God. Having a relationship with Jesus is the only permanent solution to all of the problems that this life has to give us. My longing for happiness brought me to many places in those 2 years. I began to first put all of my faith into friendships. While friendships are vital to a happy life, if they're your sole source of happiness, you're destined to be let down. According to Gallup.com, less than 50% of Americans feel satisfied with their friendships. One of my biggest sources of dissatisfaction came with greed. I would see things that others had, whether on social media or in person, and then compare it to what I had. And in the ever-changing world that we live in, there are new products being released every minute. No matter how much you buy, you'll never have the newest everything. Greed can lead to envy, anger, and unhappiness. Another place where I searched for happiness was in my hobbies. I was, and I still am, a pretty avid golfer, and golf is a really fun game to play, but it requires a very tough mindset. Without this, the thing you came to do to have fun can turn into another source of stress and unhappiness. And I find this to be true with any hobby you do, whether it be palms or swimming or horse judging. You have to have a tough mindset and really go out there to have fun, or otherwise it can turn bad. After failing to find my joy in things of this world, I turned to YFC to explore finding happiness through Christianity. With the help of YFC leader Ryan Grant, I began to explore this concept. As it turns out, this is exactly what I needed. This is exactly what I've been searching for. I accepted Jesus into my life, and it was like doing a 180-degree turn. I now have a place of refuge and a source of happiness that is unending, that will never let me down, and I believe all of you can have that too. The story of empty searching to emphatic happiness isn't mine alone. According to a survey of 130 high school students that I did, 73% of students who consider themselves Christians rated their happiness as a 7 or higher on a scale of 1 to 10, while only 52% of non-Christians rated their happiness as a 7 or higher. This further goes to show that a relationship with Jesus can bring a stronger form of happiness. And these are the graphs. So as you can see, through Christ, you can find a different source of happiness, and it will never let you down. As I stated earlier, I searched for joy primarily in 3 ways: through friendship, materialistic things, and hobbies. The things mentioned prior began to bring me the opposite in my life before a relationship with Jesus. However, after accepting Jesus, I can see God at work in these things, and they are now all sources of joy. My friendships now have deeper meaning and purpose. Instead of wanting more and more, I begin to realize how much I already have and how blessed that I am to have it. And finally, through my hobbies such as golf, I can keep a calm mindset and enjoy all of the good rather than focusing on the bad. How can all of you make this change? If you relate to anything in my story, want to revitalize your relationship with Jesus, or start one for the first time, there are many places that you can do that. I challenge you to do one or all of the following in this next week. Student Challenge in Brash's room is on Wednesdays during A lunch, and in Divine's room during B lunch. It's where like a group of students come together and we sometimes watch videos about Christianity or just talk about our day. I go to a youth group at the Alma Church of the Nazarene at 7:30 on Sunday nights, and there are youth groups all across at churches all throughout the county that you can go to. Ours is at 7:30, and I invite you to come out to that. Or go to any church on a Sunday morning you're always welcome anywhere. While I was reading the Bible earlier this week, I found a verse that I thought went well with this speech, and it reads, "I've said these things to you so that you will have peace in me. In the world you have distress, but be encouraged, for I have conquered the world."